Good morning, everybody. How's it going? I'm just monitoring solar production for today, and it seems like so far so good. We have a nice sunny day down here in Florida, and currently we're bringing in 3.2 kilowatt hours production, which is, I guess, about 65 amps coming in on solar panels at this point. And as you can see, the flow, it basically comes in on the panels, nothing from the utility, goes into the inverter system itself, and then splits that power out. So whatever the current loads are on the entirety of the homestead, in this case it happens to be 2.4 kilowatt hours or 2.4 kilowatts, it handles that, and then everything that's left over from this number gets dumped into the battery bank. So while it's running loads, it's also charging up batteries, as you can see. So far, we bought in 2.5 kilowatt hours. That's probably starting at like about 8 o'clock when production really kind of starts up. It starts at 7 some odd, you know, hour, but you don't really get much at that point, 500 watts or so. But you can see it ramps up as the morning continues. So as of right now, this production line is higher than the actual consumption line, which is the red one. So what we're using is less than what we're making. So the so the actual loads are being handled by the sun. It's a exchange where it all goes to the batteries. Everything runs from the batteries, but you're bringing enough in that the battery doesn't particularly get changed, as far as it goes, because you're putting back more into the battery than you're taking out. So that helps. And that's what allows you to charge your batteries at the same time you're running your loads. So at any given point, obviously, that inverter can handle 12,000 watts, so 12 kilowatts, which is more than this house is ever going to put out, or any outbuilding on this house or this property. But, if the event ever came up that you had to pull 12,000 watts, you could do it. It would just take a lot of battery power. But anyway, so that's what we're looking at right now. We're bringing in more than we're using, which is going to probably be the case for the majority of the day anyhow. This inverter can, or at least the panel setup that I have going into this, can provide an output at max of 7,000 watts, 7 kilowatts, in an hour's time. I'll reach that level at about 10:40 a.m. if the sun stays out the way it is now. So from 10:40, let's say, till about 3:30, 4 o'clock, I'll be outputting 7,000 kilowatt hours per hour, 7,000 watts per hour going into the battery, and only using probably the highest, let's say 3,000 watts. So 4,000 surplus watts per hour going into the battery should have these batteries full by the time the production time of the day is over, and then I move to batteries exclusively from, let's say, 8 o'clock p.m. till 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And that's really the goal. You want to have your loads covered fully by your system. That way, you eliminate the requirement of the utility. The utility is always there as a backup, until it's not, of course. I don't trust energy companies at all. I don't ever believe anything they say. I don't believe that their rates are ever going to stay fixed, because they won't. They'll only increase. And the way gas is going now, food, equipment, I mean, hell, to buy a sheet of plywood now costs you $70. So what's to say that energy production and the cost of it doesn't rise up and triple? What would you do in a situation like that? Imagine having an electric bill that used to be $400 a month going to $1,200 a month. How would that affect your life? So I always feel if there's a way that you can mitigate the usage and requirement of some outside source, you do it. If it costs you upfront money, it's worth it to pay because it's a one-time charge. Basically, once you get that charge out of the way and handled, these things only work, you know, and they work for free afterwards. They just do their jobs, and solar panels will do their jobs for 30 years. Lithium battery banks will do their job for 15 years if you take care of them. So that's a long-term investment that will do nothing but return on itself every single day. So long after, when hurricanes, man-made events, everything that can take place happens, you won't worry a bit about it because, quite frankly, your system it'll just function and it'll do exactly what it says it's going to do. Your refrigerators, your freezers, your air conditioning units, if you cover those types of loads like I do, they will all function, they will work, and the utility has nothing to do with it whatsoever. The solar companies that come out to your house, those little smiley guys, don't ever believe anything they say because they want to sell you a system that's going to just basically take any production and pump it back into the grid, into the electric company to give you credit. All right, so ask yourself this question. What happens if the grid goes down? Now these systems have nowhere to put that power. And because of the way that they set it up with this non-islanding circuit that's built in, once that system detects that grid is not available, it will shut itself off. So there's no production, which means even if it's sunny and nice outside, you get nothing out of it. Your systems are offline. Your house is black. And your fridges go offline. Your deep freezers go offline. Everything goes offline. And you have to wait until the electric company gets their shit together, basically, and gets it back up and running. What if that takes a week? Do you think you could stand losing $400 worth of meat and foodstuffs and every other thing? Do you think you can handle the heat of 94 degrees or whatever it is with high humidity without the ability to turn on an air conditioning, even a fan? Yeah, that's what they don't tell you. So you should ask some deep questions when it comes down to these people. And what happens if the grid goes down? Will I still have the ability to make power? And they will start to do the little shuck and jive and, oh, there's ways we can do it and this and that and the other. Trust me, the only way to do it is the way that I do it, and that is basically an off-grid independent system that uses almost like a hybrid method to utilize the grid as nothing more than an extra storage battery. It's patched into my system, of course, but I don't need to use it. But if I ever did, it's there. I can say, all right, I want to fully charge my batteries right now off grid power because I know that there's a huge storm coming tomorrow. And that's when you utilize the grid. Other than that, you rely on your panels to do their jobs. You rely on the batteries to do theirs, and everything will function the way it's supposed to. You can monitor every aspect of your system. You can monitor in real time, current loads, what your system's doing right now, what your house is pulling. Like right now, my house is pulling 2.5 kilowatts, as you can see here. This is a real-time display. So everything that I do happens on this screen, and I can see it, like I said, up to the second. Going back to this one, this is a 5-minute update display. So it changes every 5 minutes, as you can see here. That's not the best thing in the world for for monitoring every little thing. But guess what? 5 minutes is 5 minutes. It's what it is. You can't change it, so you live with it. Other than that, I mean, the system will do its job, and without question, you don't worry about a thing. You just know that you are safe. Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a little display of what this looks like, and hopefully you learned something. If you like this type of information, you can subscribe to my channel on YouTube. You can like, share, and if you think someone's going to appreciate it, make sure that, you do share it. and comment if you have questions, anything like that. I always try to answer every comment. So you guys have a great day.